All right, back with another mock draft. This time we're going to do the most chaotic mock draft I can think of. So, what I'm basically doing here is I don't want it to be just completely stupid of like, oh, what if the, first overall, the Chicago Bears selected Tyler Guyton, right? Like, that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is, within reason, what the most crazy thing could happen. So, like, Caleb Williams is still going to go first overall. Like, there's no, like, that's going to happen. But, like, what's something I could conceive as like a possibility, but would be genuinely shocked and like it would create great discussion the day after, if it happened? Well, let's just get into it. Number two, I think that they're going to go quarterback either way, but I do think they could go Jaden Daniels, which would be a bit more chaotic. So let me do that there. And then for the Patriots, is there a potential they could trade down? I guess so. Yeah, they could trade this pick. Maybe trade with the Atlanta Falcons would be an interesting one. No, I was going to say trade. Well, why is PFF has done this thing where there's only certain teams that are interested in picks, but like sometimes I want to do a trade with the Vikings, and now I can't do it because there's this thing. So, no, I'm going to have to do multiple first-round picks, and we'll do, I think, a future first is probably what it would take to do a jump this big at this point. Let's force this trade here, though, so I can have the Vikings end up with Drake May. Drake May goes here at number 3 to the Minnesota Vikings. This would be fully chaotic at this point. Hey, Patriots got several first-round picks. They feel okay about it. But, Vikings get a good prospect of their own in this scenario. I think it's, again, is this likely? No. Is this within the realm of possibility? Yeah, I think so. Cardinals, I would have them going Marvin Harrison Jr. That's going to happen. It's not chaotic, but it's going to happen if he's available. Then the Chargers, to me, so I actually threw this out in a different mock draft, but I could see something like this happening where what if they traded with the New York Jets? What if they found the Jets, who again, the Jets, according to PFF, is not interested in this pick, but I am not PFF, and we're talking about, a chaotic scenario, but I don't think it's crazy to think the Jets could trade a future assets to try and be good right now. Like, why not? You're trying to be competitive. You're trying to win a Super Bowl. Do something like this right now. Go out and get a Malik Neighbors who could help you right now. I think it would make sense. Next up on the list is number 6, the New York Giants, who I think probably would go Rome Odunze here in this selection, and they could. But at the same time, I don't know. Again, it's the chaos mock draft. And J.J. McCarthy's available. What if they went him? Quarterback is, a lot of people feel like it's a need with the Daniel Jones thing, which I think there were a lot of issues last year besides just Daniel Jones. But still, they could use a quarterback, and that would be an interesting selection there. Then with the Titans, I think the Titans would go Joe Alt. Not the most chaotic thing. I just think that's what they would do in that situation. And then, Rome Odunze is still on the board. Part of me is wondering, does Atlanta just take him right here? That could be chaotic. Or to want to have a team kind of trying to make a move to jump up a lot of other places to get a really good wide receiver. Is there a team that, maybe even a competitive team that could really use that wide receiver? I just don't know if that's happening. But let's go Rome Odunze to the Falcons. That would be, again, kind of hilarious if they consistently draft these, skill players in the top 10. But I honestly wouldn't hate that pick if they did it. Then you have the Bears, who they selected Caleb Williams. They need help around Caleb Williams. I actually did this on the what I would do mock draft, but I think I'm going to go with this as well. What about Brock Bowers going to the Chicago Bears, which is one that I think, to me, could make a lot of sense. I know it's so. The reason why it's chaotic is they have Cole Kmet, and it's like you're going there as well. But I think that he's so talented, I think it'd probably be worth it. And again, create interesting discussions. So going to go with that there. You then have the Los Angeles Chargers, who traded back to number 10. Unfortunately, a lot of the top players are now off the board. So it honestly might make some sense for them to do another trade back. Here's a trade I came up with, a bit of an unorthodox one. What if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traded with the Chargers? Well, I don't know if just an extra first-round pick is going to be enough, but we'll go with that. A future first-round pick to move up these 16 spots. They are going to trade with the Chargers in this scenario, and then they are going to use it to select Le'Veon Latu. They could really use an edge rusher. They've been kind of missing on these edge rushers late in the first round for a while, so I wonder if they would just say, you know what, screw it, let me just go all out there and let's just make a move, make something happen. And while we're having these kind of big trade-ups, this is one that would be a very interesting trade scenario if it were to happen. What if the Kansas City Chiefs and Patriots made a similar type deal? We'll have it, I guess a little bit more, so we'll say like, I don't know, a future first and a future fourth or something like that, to force the trade to have the Chiefs go up. They, they could have a couple of holes, but really what they kind of could use is a tackle. And I think that with some, we're getting close to the areas where teams that need tackles are going to start drafting. What if they traded all the way up? They got their tackle here at pick 11. The Broncos, quite frankly, I can't think of anything more chaotic than them just doing what people think they're going to do, which is draft Bo Nix. So I'll just have them go with Bo Nix here. Next up for the Raiders, again, definitely selecting quarterback would be chaotic here, but I kind of almost wonder if like them going after like a Newton at this spot would even be more kind of talked about at that point. He would be a really good player for them and be kind of maybe a lot of people don't think he's number one in terms of interior defensive lineman, but a lot of people do. So I don't know. We'll go with that here. And then for the New Orleans Saints, honestly, I can't see too much drama coming from the New Orleans Saints. I guess I'll just give them an offensive lineman. I'll give them Fuaga. I don't think a lot of chaos is going there. Just like I don't know if a lot of chaos is going from the Indianapolis Colts. I suppose we could do a trade here, but nothing's really jumping out at me. So I don't know. What if I gave him like Cooper DeJean? There'd be some drama there. He's not everyone's number one corner. I guess there's some drama there here. For Seattle, I'll have them go with what if like a J.C. Latham here, because one, he's not the number one, the next offensive lineman, but also it would kind of be like, okay, what do they do with the tackle position now if they added another one? So there'd be some discussion there. Again, Jacksonville, I'll have them just go Byron Murphy. I just think that they would probably do that. At this point, you then have the Cincinnati Bengals next in the mix, who again, I feel like we're in a bit of a run of like, these teams are not really going to get too crazy. I don't really see a scenario where they don't go after a corner right here. So here is the chaotic move. Brian Thomas Jr. going to the Bengals, which means what are you going to do with T. Higgins? That's the drama right there. And now that I'm thinking about it a little bit, could we get here's some real drama right here. What if we then went out with the Rams and made a trade with the team that just picked the Cincinnati Bengals, but the trade is not going to be a pick for pick. What if it is a T. Higgins trade? The Rams trade for T. Higgins. We know the Rams love to trade first round picks for players. We'll force this trade. The Bengals end up picking in back-to-back selections. They get Mitchell with the next pick. There we go. Now we're getting some real chaoticness into the mix here. And for the Steelers, who, a lot of ways they could go with it. Again, I just don't know if there's, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Kool-Aid McKinstry, so I'll say maybe they also fell in love with him and draft him here. Okay, that's at least somewhat chaotic. The Dolphins, I think a lot of people would say, oh, quarterback here, the Tua controversy. I actually think it could be even more fun if they just went out and got like Adonai Mitchell, going out and got a receiver and said, you know what, screw it, we're going to go full balls to the wall about all this. That feels more chaotic in many ways than the other going out and drafting a quarterback. So let's go with that. You then have the Eagles, which to me the funniest thing possible would be getting another defensive lineman. So I'll give them Dallas Turner just for that. The Patriots, who I'm trying to remember, I don't believe they've drafted yet. They did a big trade down, so now they get some of their massive draft capital that they've gotten at this point. Again, the reality is there's really no scenario where they would go quarterback, where they wouldn't go quarterback here. But what if we, again, get a little bit creative here? This is my chaotic move. What if the Cleveland Browns trade a future first-round pick to go from 54 to 23? The Patriots are in, they've learned from Bill Belichick. They want to keep trading down, so that's what they do here. The Browns move up to the first round and get Michael Penix Jr., who, the Browns, obviously, there's that Deshaun Watson thing. He didn't look great last year. Make a move to get an insurance policy. It'd be chaotic. There's no denying that. And then the Cowboys, there's no quarterbacks left. Quarterbacks are always going to be the most chaotic thing that they could do. So what else could they do in this scenario? I don't know. I think just doing something dumb would be the funniest thing. Like, we could see that. Yeah, I don't know. They'll go out and they'll get, I don't know, who would be a good, they'll get like, the Clemson interior defensive lineman that nobody has going in the first round. That's easily the most chaotic thing they could do. That would be funny. Just if the Cowboys made a dumb decision, that would get talked about a lot. It could happen. So I'll throw that in there for that one. Sorry, Cowboys fans, if you're watching. The Packers, the Packers, it's obvious. It doesn't even matter which receiver, any first-round receiver. Aaron Rodgers is gone. They now use a first-round pick on a receiver for Love. That would be, that would definitely get the people going. You then have the Chargers, who, if you remember, traded down multiple times, so they're going to be picking a lot, as I believe they have, in the future. Here it is. Yeah, they have 3 first-round picks next year, so well done there by the Chargers. But for this year, they got to make something happen. I guess probably the most chaotic thing would be just not going wide receiver, not helping out Herbert exactly. So I would go offensive line. You could, say, oh, well, this is what they're doing. They're going out and, trying to rebuild for the running game and all that stuff, which I think would get people fired up. The Cardinals, what's their move? They're another team that, they drafted Marvin Harrison, but who else are they going to go with here? Not a lot of crazy things they could do, I don't think. So, I don't know. They're just going to get best player available. I don't think there's that much, go highest player on the board. The Bills are another team where, I don't know, receiver could be something to draft a receiver and try to, replicate the Stephon Diggs situation. I don't know if that's that chaotic, though. They could try to make a trade, I suppose, but I can't really think of a great one there. The only other thing I can think about is, and think about this with a couple teams, if they went running back. So maybe we'll say, that's their chaotic move, is they go running back here, pick 28, which is a position that they could use an upgrade on, I suppose. I don't think this would happen. This is maybe, I might be stretching this one a little bit to try and make a chaotic move work, but it is what it is. Lions, I think, again, drafting someone who people don't expect, like Peyton Wilson would be a good thing. Drafting someone people don't expect to go this high, but is still like a player some people really like. Like, I could see that. Again, getting some people going there. The Ravens, I don't know. Again, what could the Ravens do that's really that like chaotic? The best thing I could think about would just get like another good corner, which like it's Ravens. Another good corner is going to be awesome for them. And again, not really addressing that receiver position the way some people feel like they should have done more of. And then for the 49ers, I think the move is getting another wide receiver. I think even like Roman Wilson, for example, just continuing to address that. And plus, that would kind of make Brandon Ayuk, what's happening there, addresses that kind of question mark there. Finally, the New England Patriots. Again, this wouldn't happen, but whatever. It's the chaos draft. Let's give them Spencer Rattler at pick 32. Gets the 5th-year option on Spencer Rattler. That is my all-chaos mock draft, the most chaotic mock draft of all time. Would this ever, happen? Obviously not, but I don't know. It's kind of fun to make. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the chaotic mock draft in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.